So we're looking at a game called Not Alone today from Stronghold Games and Geek Attitude Games, and the expansion, the exploration. Now, interesting thing about this game is not what I thought it was when I opened the box. Well, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't at the same time. There's a lot of deep mechanics going on in here. So let's dive in, kind of give a quick overview how it plays, because this is more about the expansion than the base game, and then come back and talk about what we thought about Not Alone. So this is the basic setup here. You'll have your heroes tokens here, your survivors tokens, and your monsters token all on the same player count number. Then we'll go through the kind of the phases of the game. You set up all the 10 locations down here at the bottom. Now this is the base game. I'll show you what the expansion brings in a little bit. The survivors cards are here, and then the hunt cards are here. And one way to get these cards is by going to the source, and there's, I think, the shelter is the other place you can get survivor cards. These are really helpful cards that do things that help the survivors, like place the marker counter on the beach, move the creature token to an adjacent place, so it helps you get that creature off of your back. So it kind of mitigates some of the anger that can come in this game if gotten to this location. Now, the monster has 3 tokens. These 3 tokens do 3 different things. There's this one, the hunt card effect, then use the place power or take back one. So it effectively means that this is where some of the location of these hunt cards affect. So some of them will say things like, choose one hunted if you catch him. Oh no, trying to find one that actually has. Here we go. Consider the target token as a second creature token. So depending on where you put that token, it affects this card if it has that symbol on it. The second one is the symbol here. This one means it's an ineffective place. In other words, that place is just shut down. It doesn't hurt anybody, it just means that they don't get to do anything. Last but not least is the actual creature. You lose a will, which is one of the will cubes, which you have to have those to do things. The placement is ineffective, and you move the assimilation token, so the monster gets a point. Now, if the heroes survive a round, or every time the heroes survive a round, they move up a point right here. Now, there are other ways to get victory points, like the beach. You would spend one turn to move the counter onto the beach to ready the signal, and then you spend the next turn to send it out of there. That gets you another point as well. So, the exploration phase. This is where you can either give up or you can resist. You can spend your cubes, your will cubes, to get your cards back into your hand, because once you play your card, they stay out there until you pick them back up. Then you also pick your location, or you pick your location if you're not giving up. To pick your location, you have your hand of the 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 location cards. You then will put it face down. The monster will then take his phase in the hunting phase. He'll put his 3 tokens out at different locations, trying to guess where you're going to go. The reveal happens. The heroes turn over, the survivors turn over their cards. Let's say the first person went to the lair. This says, take back your hand, the place cards from your discard pile, or copy the power of the place with the creature token. Lose an extra will if caught by the creature token here. So it's kind of a gamble. So currently, if I played the lair, I would actually either get to pick up all my cards for free, or get to do the beach's location. That's what the lair does. If somebody else went to a different location, it'd be things like the jungle, take back to your hand this place card and place 1 card from your discard pile. So the jungle helps you get more cards back into your hand if you want to go there. Next turn, play 2 place cards before revealing and choose to return the second one to your hand. So you would get to kind of see what the monster's going to do first before you choose which one you're committed to. Take the rover here. Take from the reserve 1 place card you do not own, add it to your hand. So that's how you get 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You don't have those cards to start with. That's what that's for. The end of your turn, discard the played place cards, take back the hunt tokens, and draw the hunt cards up to 3 cards. Move the rescue token. So that's what happens at the end there. You get 3 of these cards at any time. You get to play them in the phases they are allowed. It tells you at the bottom which phases you can play them. And they do certain terrible things, mutation. In addition to its effects, the Artemia token will inflict 1 loss of will. So it's already making the monster stronger is what those are. So the whole point is to get around without the monster catching you and survive until this gets to the victory area here. If the monster assimilates first, they win. If you get to there first, you win. That's what it's all about, surviving and beating the monster. Well, let's take a look at what the expansion is. 10 different locations, things like the Nexus. Copy the power of a place 2 to 5. So that means you can pick any of the powers, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Then move the assimilation counter forward, 1 extra space if the creature token catches at least 1 hunted on the Nexus. So it's a danger to go. There's kind of like the lair. It's an upgraded version of the lair. The Oasis, take back this place card plus 1 of your discarded place cards for each of your lost will. So it's just kind of, these are simply different versions of kind of what's already there. So, and notice that they're similar in what they are to the fjord, the river, the jungle, the oasis, the lair, the nexus, the dome, the beach. Now that one's a little bit different, but this one says move the shield one place toward the dome. If it reaches the dome, move the assimilation counter back one space and return the shield to place 1. So it helps you lose points for the monster, which is good. The labyrinth, reveal one place or take one revealed place card from the reserve. If you reveal a place, use its power or take the matching card from the reserve. So different ways to get more cards into your hand. The mangrove, exchange all place cards in your hand for the place cards in your discard pile, then take this place card back. And then there's 2 more here. The portal one is pretty neat. It says discard the portal, play another place card from your hand and resolve it. So you spin the portal card to discard it, and you just pick any other place card. And this is after obviously the monster's already placed, so it's a good safe bet there. You also get more hunt cards here, and you get more survivor cards. The main thing that this adds is variety. So you can either put all 10 of these place cards in, or all 10 of those place cards in, or you can mix and match and say, so this game we're going to play 1 from the base, 2 from this, 3 from there, 4 from there, and mix and match around like that. So it's neat to add that much variety to a game that's already got a lot of twists and turns. So that's Not Alone in a nutshell. Now, it's different than I thought it was when I first went into it. You know, you see the cards and you see the locations. You think, oh, cool, it's kind of like a hidden location card game, but it's more of a social deduction card game because you're trying to outwit where your opponent's going to go each round. Also, it's kind of like a hand builder, not a deck builder. So it's kind of interesting in that sense that you're building your hand to get better cards so that you can go to more locations and then outsmarts your monster. But it's actually a really tough game. It's okay. It's not like, I mean, it's well liked, but it's an angry game. Like, I liked it more than Carla, but you know me. I like more games than anybody pretty much, just because that's the kind of weird personality I have. But it's one of those games that's easy to get angry at because you could potentially mess up someone's turn 2 times in a row. Now that is the goal of the game. You're supposed to win. It's supposed to be competitive. So if you're playing this 2-player, you go, oh look, here's a good game we can play 2-player or 7-player with my wife. Not the best for that. It gets kind of angry. It gets kind of quickly degenerates into, why would you go there again? I can't do anything. You know, it's one of those things where you feel like you can't do anything unless you start getting the cards to mitigate that. But in order to get the cards to mitigate that, you have to go to certain locations, and that's not always the easiest thing to get to the locations since the monster has 3 different actions he can use. And there's only 5 locations to start with, so it does make it pretty tough, but that's why you've got to do that thing where you outsmart your opponent by talking to your allies in a way that makes it kind of deceptive, where they can't understand what you mean, or they do understand what you mean, but you're bluffing them to try to get them to go somewhere else. Or you're trying to throw them off onto your ally so that you can get what you need. So it's kind of a weird experiment there, but I think it benefits more from a higher player count than a lower player count because it spreads out the anger a little bit. But that's not alone in the expansion. Now the exploration expansion adds a couple more. It adds a whole new set of location cards and adds a couple other variants. So it's got 53 more place cards, 13 more hunt cards, 15 survival cards in the rule book. But it's kind of cool because all of these cards inside of here, they just add a little bit more variety to the game, and that's kind of what it's all about. It's about spicing it up, adding some variety, but it doesn't change it too much. It's not a total, complete change. But what it is it's kind of a must-buy if you really enjoy Not Alone, because the whole point is this one, you know what to expect. Once you get this one, you can kind of mix it up and spread them in and vary up your game a little bit. And so that's what the expansion is all about. Varying up the game, adding different locations. You don't have to do one set or the other. You can mix and match the different sets of locations, and that's kind of what it's all about. So that's Not Alone. This is Bryan Drake with the latest retro. Till next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.